Hello and welcome to the Natural Way of Life. This is your June energy guidance and I will be using numerology to bring you more insights on what to expect this month. Now, numerology is a tool that obviously can be used to help you get to grips with the energy, okay? So numbers are basically energy, everything from our date of birth to our name. Numbers can appear everywhere, even to the house you live in. So if you live in a house number 6 or a property that adds to a 6, your house will be in the spotlight this month. Now, again, if you are a life path 6 or a life path 33 6, this is going to be a huge month for you. That is me, so that's why I'm bringing you a personal video to go through this energy, because who better to explain it to you than someone that has that energy and can relate to it. So I want to know in the comments, if you're watching this, if you're a life path 6, if you're close with life path 6s, or you've got 6 energy in your name or your numerology chart, or even a personal year, or if you're a 33-2, let me know in the comments, okay? I want to connect with you guys, and if you're watching it at a later date, let me know how this month went down for you, because from my past experiences, I found these months can be really quite empowering and intense, or, you know, I want to have a fair balanced approach to it. Sometimes they can be really effing painful, depending on what I'm having to go through at that particular time, because again, I will do a separate video on it, but with numerology, I feel like on the internet, it's often all very like love and light. Same with astrology, it's always talking about the positives. But let's face it, with every number, you could have absolute psychopath crazy people too. Like, you know, there are energies to every number that are in the higher vibration and those in the lower vibration. So it's about digging into those and what they truly mean. So for those of you wondering, this is the year 2025, so that equals 9. June is 6, so we add 9 and 6 together, which equals 15. So it's technically a 15-6 universal month. So for example, 15-6 is the exact vibration of my destiny number before it is then reduced just to a final 6. But it's always important to look at those two numbers before any reductions are made, because they give you a lot of key insight and also a different take on the energies of that particular 6. So that's super important. So key themes and energies this month. Now, numerology, I just want to say, is highly accurate, okay? So it's a great tool and it's a great way to know kind of what's coming for you, how to work with the energy and how to handle it, because when you've got a heads up, that makes it so much more easier to navigate through. So big themes this month, whether you hold this energy or not, you'll probably see these themes coming through, but you will feel them, as I say, more intensely if that's your personal vibrational life path. So family is a big one. Anyone with 6 energy will know family is going to be a huge thing. Doesn't mean that person's going to be all about their family or have the most perfect family. Take it from me, family has been a lifelong struggle and lesson for me. Matters of the home, things within your home will come to forefront this month, okay? Responsibilities, that's a key theme within anyone that holds that 6 energy, is having responsibilities. So they will probably be someone who is super responsible. Like, for instance, myself, I dedicate my life to my animals. I'm super responsible. Everything I do for them, right? Yeah. Someone might be the same way for their kids or their family. Or you could have someone that is totally on the opposite end of the spectrum, irresponsible, you know, doesn't take care of their family, doesn't pay for their children, doesn't look after anyone but themselves, or they might even struggle to look after themselves, okay? Love is going to be a huge theme this month, guys, and that is a huge lesson of the 6 and the 33 life path, is to master love, okay? Your third eye is connected here to the 6th chakra, and as I'm saying this, I've just actually noticed as I'm recording, there are like all these kind of chakra colours coming through on the screen. I don't even know if you guys can see that because there's a window over there. And yeah, I can see like greens, blues, reds. Yeah, let me know if you can see that too. I thought that's super strange. But yeah, it governs our third eye chakra. If you're not aware of the chakras, they're like energy portals in the body. I'll try not to talk too fast. Sorry, this happens when I get excited and I have a lot to say. That is often the 6th one. So it's also called like your third eye. So if you kind of imagine around here, guys, that is what you would use also to tune in with your sixth sense. So people that hold sixth energy are naturally probably very psychic and intuitive, whether they realize it or not. Maybe they might be on the opposite end of that if they haven't stepped into that power and be totally skeptical. That used to be me for a part of my life. I was totally switched off to any of that stuff, totally spooked by it all. I'd be like, oh no, like if a psychic I would ever meet one, I'd be like, oh, don't look at me, don't talk to me. Like I would try to avoid them, literally. But obviously then I discovered, hey, that's actually you. Don't know what you're scared from, don't know why you're running, and then you have to embrace it, okay? So yes, also mental health does come under that too. So I will talk a bit about that, but yeah, if you're in balance this month, you're going to find it easier to be open to love, you know, and that doesn't just mean to others or your family or a partner, but to yourself. Self-love is a sixth vibration of energy, and it is about loving yourself, showing up for yourself. It's also about your psychic experiences. You know, do you use your psychic gifts and abilities in the right way? You know, it's like a muscle. Are you building on it? Are you developing it? Are you working with it? Or are you switched off to it? Because that can be one of the tools that can really help you in life. Yeah, so if you're imbalanced this month, especially in this third eye area, that will show up with potential headaches, vision problems, problem with the eyes, the sinuses, the nose, even sometimes the ears, because they are connected if you look to that area. Again, maybe you might have problems with the head, or the brain or the mind, and that's where the mental health side of things comes into it as well. Because as I said, with numbers and explaining this for people in simple terms, it's a spectrum. So at the best, kind of the highest vibrational end, you're going to have a super psychic, intuitive being. On the other end, you could have a complete skeptic or someone that is actually delusional and maybe taken over by entities or spirits and receiving all kinds of information that may not be nice, may not be good, and to others they may seem like they've literally lost touch with reality. But they have that gift and that potential, but they may just not be in tune with that vibration. So do you see what I'm saying about scales and energy, and why I'm not a fan of the way a lot of information out there, whether it be books, internet, people online sharing stuff, it always makes it seem like it's easy or this is what it should be if you're this energy. And no, just because, like I say, these can be some of the themes of that sixth energy does not mean that they will necessarily be the most natural and easy things for that person, because they will be their unique soul lessons that person is learning in this lifetime. So most likely, if someone has the sixth energy, they will probably have to learn about love, not only through relationships, but love with themselves, family issues, heartbreak, healing the heart, you know, home. Mental health will probably be a huge one. If you look up at, like, for instance, a lot of celebrities that hold that sixth energy, they have probably gone through their own mental health or addiction struggles. It's part of the path, it's part of the journey. It's also embracing the fact that we're all spiritual beings in a human body. We are not meant to be perfect, okay? That's one of the biggest traits of sixth energy. I see it in myself. It's like perfectionist. Anything we do, we want to be so perfect at, and then we can actually block ourselves from creating or doing anything because we're worried about not being perfect, not being good enough, you know, lacking this confidence. We have a huge eye for detail. I notice everything. A lot of things other people wouldn't, but then it can kind of be, you feel too critical sometimes. So it is really finding that balance. So yes, embrace imperfect. Being imperfect is what I've written on my notes. I'm looking here. Embrace being imperfect, because perfectionism steals your energy and actually can block you from creating and achieving. And like I say, if you feel imbalanced in your third eye area and you're having symptoms or problems in that area, remember to connect to nature, to ground yourself on the earth daily. You know, have a good wholesome diet. Try not to consume any substances or even caffeines or things that could alter your energy or emotions anyway. Journal. If you need to, maybe reach out, speak to a counsellor or a therapist, or invest in some energy healing. You know, surround yourself with people that are good for your health and well-being. And just remember that we are all part of this system, this earth, and everything is connected. You know, when you're more grounded, it's easier to ground yourself in the reality that you're in, because another trait of sixth energy is the how can I word this, like escapism traits, you know, being in our head, going somewhere else to escape our reality. I think there's a term for it, because I have had a therapist mention it before. Dissociation. So if you struggle with that at all, like dissociating from things, living in another world, literally in your mind, whatever, it can be used as a way to protect ourselves, that we may have had to learn, like just your body learns to do it, to take yourself away from maybe toxic or traumatic experiences or things you've been through in your life. So sometimes it just happens, but if we catch ourselves and notice ourselves doing it, kind of just ground yourself back and be like, okay, I'm doing that, like I am safe in this moment, this is maybe what's happening, and just having that awareness of it can really help. So another kind of theme that comes into the sixth energy, guys, this is probably going to be a long video because this is my energy and I can really talk about it. So beauty, okay? Beauty rules that sixth energy. So with that, if you can see, I am wearing the colour orange. I have orange nails this month. I even have orange stones here in my ring, okay? Because orange, actually in numerology, if we add that up, equals 33.6. So it holds that strong, powerful 6 vibration. I think it's a beautiful colour. It's healing. It's also great because June is a summer month, okay? So it's bringing that brightness and healing and literally believing in miracles into your life. So on that theme of beauty, obviously, we have an eye for beauty, okay? So if you're feeling to maybe have a makeover or change something in your appearance, this would be a great month to do it. You know, even looking after your skin or your skincare regime, looking at maybe more natural ways you can incorporate into that. And also on the topic of self-care practices. So this is things that are going to be good for not only your physical health, your mental health. I have been recommending this actually quite recently to quite a few people that I've done readings or healings for, and I've said about it's been coming through for them to create like their own type of self-care box, something that can be really helpful when you're in times of maybe distress, times of illness, maybe just having a day where you don't feel great, you know, not feeling your best self. And actually having a self-care box or cupboard, in my case, because it is a whole cupboard, and full of things, you know, fill it with things that will actually help you feel better. So you might have your books in there, journals, pens, papers. So when it all gets a bit much, you can write stuff down. You might have like a face mask, your herbs to make herbal teas, vitamins, remedies. You might want a heat pack if you get pain. You kind of get the gist, maybe your essential oils, something you can smell that's going to calm your energies and just bring you a little bit of upliftment. Basically things that are good for you, okay? And on the topic of that, I have done a video on my channel too about this book called Closer to Love by Vex King. He is a Life Path 33.6 master healer, here to help in the world. And actually he's done some good books, I will say, but this one especially, because we're on the topic of like love and relationships this month, this is great. So whether you're single or not, I would highly recommend reading it. I will in the description link the video I've done to this, so you know you can have a little look. But it's basically about having creating stronger and healthier relationships in your life and loving yourself more deeply. And a lot of stuff he does is all about, you know, self-love and relationships and stuff. And obviously we're not often taught these things, or they might be areas we really struggle with in our lives. So it can really help to read things like this, especially if maybe like therapy or counselling isn't accessible to you. I think this book was maybe like £10 or under. So I would highly, I'm going to say recommend this. You know, like I'm just going to read you guys. I just turned to this page, so I'm going to read it. So look, it says, wondering what trauma still needs healing, ? Pay attention to your triggers. Notice what's hard to talk about and shed light on things you avoid. There you will find where pain still lies. So that little words of wisdom there from Vex King may help you on your healing journey. So I highly recommend this book. And actually it might be an ideal time with the themes of love, relationships and from another 33/6 life path, it might be this month you might just feel called to dig into those areas a bit. You know, maybe you're single and you're wanting to like build your confidence and your self-love so you can open your heart to love again. That would be an ideal time to do so. And now what also falls under this 6 energy is actually also all about being of service. So if you notice this more on the wider world this month, great, you might see that as a theme coming up more. You might notice more things in your community or your environment. But yes, being of service, helping others, and helping the world in some way. If you're a life path 6, or if you have that energy in your chart, you're going through that personal year, that's always going to be a theme in your life. It's like me, I love to help other people, but it's learning to do that at the extent of like not where it depletes you completely. And I have a very obsessive nature too. So yeah, when I like to help people, it's so hard to get that balance between helping versus literally trying to, you can see what's right for them, see what's best for them, but then that person doesn't want to make the change, and then not getting totally annoyed and using all your energy to try and heal them instead of actually letting them try and guide and help them to heal themselves. So yeah, look at that. You might be drawn to helping or being of service in some way. Truth and justice. Truth actually equals 6 too. So look, us 6s, we love to speak the truth. And justice as well. I'm all about justice. Like, I hate seeing injustice in any kind of way. So they, again, this month will be themes that come up. Also, it's about balance. If you look at the Libra, there's scales. I'm actually a Libra too, but that's quite funny. But yeah, it's about finding balance in our lives. So maybe you just overgive to your family, you know, and then work's missing out. Or maybe you're doing too much with work and not enough with family. So you will find this month about trying to find a healthy balance in your life, or even in your relationships. Again, you could be in a toxic relationship where you're giving your all and then you feel totally out of balance. I would personally say from experience, yes, I've always had these toxic relationships in life. So whether they be intimate relationships, friendships, family, and that's obviously been a huge lesson for me throughout, is learning, you know, if I look back when I was a lot younger to where I am now, there is definitely a lot I've learned on the themes of toxic relationships. So yeah, finding that healthy balance and really learning to love yourself first. Love yourself for who you are, okay? I did mention this previously, but matters of the home as well. So if you're drawn to, maybe just give your home a makeover, and you could even create something for your home, because 6 energy is also super creative and artistic. You know, 6 in that high vibration, great at writing, singing, you know, even music, art, gardening, interior design, anything that kind of is beauty and appeasing to the eyes as well. So yeah, maybe just give your home, if you're called to, switch it up a little bit, bring some more beauty in, create some art for the home, see what you're drawn to do. Now, I also want to touch on dreams, okay? That's a huge thing for 6 energy, and a lot of you might find it coming through this month, but is more enhanced and vivid dreams, probably bringing through a lot of prophecies, visions, lucid dreaming. You might be getting visits from like your spirit guides, your loved ones. That's definitely going to happen. Last night, no coincidence, the 1st of June, I thought my dreams have been kind of, I always have vivid, very strong messages in my dreams, right? Oh, last night was a whole new level. I was like, whoa, could have written half a mini book when I woke up on it, you know? So I thought I have to mention this because it's a huge thing. Super vivid. Have your pen and your paper literally under your pillow. So if you wake up with messages, you know, they're going to keep ringing through. Even to this minute, I'm still thinking about that dream and those messages. So it just shows, guys, like the messages are there. Now, also matters of your heart and love are going to be big this month. So tune in. What's close to your heart, okay? And that's going to guide you to a theme this month. Your relationships with your family, your loved ones. And also, I would say in a 6 month, it's great for love. So if you're new in a relationship, this could be a deepening of a relationship. Or if you're actually in a toxic relationship or a relationship that's no longer working, you'll probably find that's going to be heightened this month, and there could even be separation on the cards, okay? As we said, I mentioned it, it's like community, that's on the highest spectrum of the 6 energy. Then you've got verse isolation. So a 6 could be really out there, really about community, sociable, but on the flip side, we can also be completely isolated and a bit like loners too, because as I say, it's an energy and it's a potential, and we can move through that all throughout our lives. But yeah, I like to, if you haven't already noticed with my numerology, I just like to have that balanced approach, as I feel like that translates the energy clearly, and it also shows potential, like I said, in the higher vibration and the lower vibration. It's not just like, and every person that studies or does numerology will have slightly different interpretations of numbers and what they mean. I like to look at every little bit of detail, and I sometimes find it's easier to express and talk about the energies that you hold or you're more familiar with. Now, with the theme of love, then we also have hate on the opposite end of the spectrum. If we think about it realistically, like Hitler was a life path 6, evil specimen and being, right? But that's the extremes. You could have someone that's totally loving, will give all to the world. You could have someone on the total opposite end of the spectrum that is just full of the worst kind of hatred, you know? See it as harmony versus hatred. Totally balanced person versus someone that's consumed with addiction and issues. It's the same with love, you know, lust versus love, you know, toxic relationships, heartache and heartbreak. They will be huge themes for people with 6 energy. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. I've been there, I've done it, I've experienced it a lot of times. And we're the kind of people too, if you also relate with this, is like, once you have your heart broken, I'm saying, like, imagine broken bones in the body, yeah, and they could take months, years to heal. That's for me the same kind of thing as the heart. Like, once my heart is broken, it can be years for that to heal, and then I'm just like totally on my own, totally, you know, just, yeah, refocusing on rebuilding my heart, because I feel like the heart is one of the most precious organs that we have. It's so delicate, it's so fragile. I feel it's one of the most fragile things we have, because the energy that comes through the heart center and the energy and the love we have to give to others, to the ones we love, to the world, is so pure and so energetic. And I would say more so if someone holds the 33 vibration, right? It's something you can't even put into words, but it's an energy that will never be matched. And once people come into contact with you, they'll never have experienced a love like that, or an energy or an intensity like that, because often, I know throughout my life, I've always heard of too much, like people just can't handle the intensity that comes with your energy. So once that heart is opened and giving of love, the minute it's broken, it's been betrayed or it's been hurt, like that can turn you so, like, I'm gonna say almost like cold, hardened, pain. It can really shut you off from loving it. It just takes a long time to heal and repair that. So just like a bone, you know, you've got to go through the healing process, and that's the same with our heart and love. So don't be afraid if you are more in your isolated kind of time and you're maybe struggling, you're on the more challenged side, the vibration of the 6 energy. Don't worry, just give yourself all the time you need, because guess what? Time doesn't matter if it's 1 year or 10 years, no. What matters is that you're healthy and you're healing, and the biggest bit of love is learning to re-give self-love to self, okay? So as you can tell, there's just a lot going on this month, but they will be some big themes. So I've tried to keep it short, I've tried to keep it to the point with this for you guys. Now, if you are interested in finding out more accurate predictions for yourself, for your life, month by month, through the year, with your current relationship, maybe you want insights into your relationship that you're with, you can contact me for predictions, readings, healing sessions. Just drop me an email, I'll put my contact details below. I love to help. Now, we also have the 21st of June, we have the summer solstice coming up. Woo, can't wait. That is a huge energy portal, so I will do another video on that. The 25th of June, we'll have a new moon, and around the 10th or the 11th, depending on where you are in the world, there will be a full moon too. So we're kind of building up to that as well. So there is a lot going on this month. I will probably have to come and do some more videos, because I as usual, too much for me to say in one, but I hope you found this helpful. I really do. Please let me know in the comments. Please share how this energy is for you if you relate to any of this. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you lots of love, guys, and embrace some orange this month. Bye.